In the late 18th century, when France was drowning in revolution and chaos, a young Corsican artillery officer would rise to become one of the most powerful and controversial figures in world history, Napoleon Bonaparte. Early life in Corsica. Napoleon was born on August 15, 1769, on the island of Corsica, which had just been taken over by France. Though his family was of minor nobility, they were not wealthy. He was sent to France for military schooling at a young age, where he was often mocked for his Corsican accent and small stature. But young Napoleon had two great weapons, his brilliant mind and an unbreakable will. By age 16, he became a second lieutenant in the French artillery. When the French Revolution exploded in 1789, Napoleon saw an opportunity not just for France, but for himself. Climbing the ranks. During the Revolution, France needed capable leaders, and Napoleon proved himself quickly. His first major success came in 1793 during the Siege of Toulon, where he helped recapture the city from royalist forces. His bold tactics caught the attention of revolutionary leaders, and he was promoted to brigadier general at just 24. In 1795, when royalists attempted a coup in Paris, Napoleon crushed them with a whiff of grape shot, a brutal but effective cannon blast. This act saved the French government and made him a national hero. The Italian campaign, a master is born. In 1796, Napoleon was given command of the Army of Italy. What he did next would become legend. Though his army was poorly equipped and outnumbered, he led a brilliant campaign against Austrian forces, winning battle after battle. His charisma inspired loyalty, and his tactical genius made him nearly unstoppable. Napoleon wasn't just a warrior. He was also a master of propaganda. He sent reports back to France that made him seem invincible. By the time he returned home, he was a superstar. Egypt and the discovery of the Rosetta Stone. In 1798, Napoleon set his sights on Egypt, hoping to cut off British trade routes and build a new empire. While the campaign was a military failure, especially after the British Navy, led by Admiral Nelson, destroyed the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile, the expedition had unexpected consequences. His team of scholars discovered the Rosetta Stone, which would eventually allow historians to decipher ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Even in failure, Napoleon left a mark on history, becoming emperor. In 1799, Napoleon returned to France, where the government was weak and unpopular. Sensing another opportunity, he led a coup d'état and seized power. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of the French, a clear message that he served no one but himself. As emperor, he introduced sweeping reforms. The Napoleonic Code, a set of civil laws that still influences legal systems today. Better tax collection and banking. Education reform. Religious tolerance, though he also made peace with the Catholic Church. Napoleon the Conqueror. From 1805 to 1812, Napoleon ruled most of Europe. His greatest military victory came at the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, where he defeated the combined Russian and Austrian armies in a stunning display of strategy. But his ambition knew no limits. He placed family members on the thrones of conquered countries. His brother Joseph became King of Spain. His brother Louis became King of Holland. His sister Elisa ruled parts of Italy. Still, resistance grew. In Spain, guerrilla warfare bled his forces dry. In Russia, he made his worst mistake, the Russian disaster. In 1812, Napoleon invaded Russia with over 600,000 men, the largest army Europe had ever seen. But the Russians used a cruel strategy: retreat and burn everything. When Napoleon finally reached Moscow, the city was abandoned and on fire. With no food, no shelter, and a brutal winter setting in, the Grande Army began its retreat. Only around 100,000 soldiers made it back. The rest died from cold, starvation, and attacks. This disaster shattered his aura of invincibility. The fall. After the Russian campaign, Napoleon's enemies united. Britain, Prussia, Austria, and Russia formed the Sixth Coalition. One by one, Napoleon was defeated in major battles. Finally, in 1814, he was forced to abdicate and exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean. But Napoleon wasn't done yet. The 100 Days in Waterloo. In 1815, Napoleon escaped from Elba and returned to France. Soldiers sent to arrest him instead joined him, and soon he was emperor again. This period became known as the 100 Days. Europe reacted quickly. The final showdown came at the Battle of Waterloo in Belgium on June 18, 1815. This time, Napoleon lost for good, defeated by the British under the Duke of Wellington and the Prussians under Blücher. He was captured and exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. Death and legacy. Napoleon lived the last 6 years of his life on St. Helena, far from the world he once ruled. He died on May 5, 1821, likely of stomach cancer, though theories of poisoning also exist. Despite his defeat, Napoleon left behind a powerful legacy. The Napoleonic Code still shapes laws across Europe and beyond. He redefined warfare, leadership, and nation-building. He inspired both admiration and fear for generations. Even today, people study his strategies in military academies, debate his actions in political science classes, and visit his tomb in Les Invalides, Paris. Conclusion: a man of destiny. Napoleon once said, "Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools." He lived by that belief, rising from a small island in the Mediterranean to rule most of Europe. He changed France, shook the world, and left a name that still echoes through history. Love him or hate him, Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the greatest and most complex figures the world has ever known. Thanks for watching. Footprints of Time.